The hangar smelled of coolant and ozone, the sterile scent of controlled ambition. Dr. Elena Ward stood by the observation glass, watching the ship Hermes glow under a flood of halogen lights. 1,000 tons of metal, data, and dreams. Her ship, her mission. Behind her, the NASA director's reflection hovered like a ghost. "You'll only be gone 6 months," he said. The words fell too easily. 6 months. Simple, clinical, measurable. But Elena had been in the program long enough to know when someone was lying through their teeth. 6 months Earth time? She asked, not turning around. He hesitated, just a fraction too long. Approximately. The mission was supposed to be routine, a survey of Titan's magnetic anomalies and the retrieval of a deep space probe that had stopped transmitting 2 decades ago. Hermes was equipped with a prototype quantum drive, able to fold distance through a localized gravity pinch, a technology still stamped with red NASA seals. Experimental. Her team joked that if it failed, they'd just blink out of existence before anyone could call it a tragedy. The director placed a hand on her shoulder. "You're the best we have. Titan's orbit is stable now, and with the quantum drive's compression factor, you'll be home before your daughter's next birthday." Elena smiled faintly, though her chest tightened. "That's what you told Commander Liu," she murmured. He removed his hand. Liu's case was different. "We've corrected the temporal drift issue." But she had read the declassified fragments. Temporal drift wasn't a software glitch. It was a time dilation anomaly, one that NASA buried under physics jargon and press silence. Liu's team was supposed to be gone 8 weeks. Their signal returned 22 years later, a whisper from the edge of the Kuiper Belt. The countdown began. 10. Her daughter Maya waved from behind the barrier, clutching a stuffed astronaut bear. 9. Elena smiled through the glass. 8. A lifetime of training condensed into a single inhale. 7. Her pulse synchronized with the hum of the engines. 6. 6 months, she whispered to herself. 5. Stars pulsed in her peripheral vision. 4. She had no idea she was staring into the future. 3. A shimmer, like heat distortion, rippled across the observation window. 2. The director's face flickered, just for a second, like an old video losing signal. 1. Ignition. The Hermes vanished into the silence of space, leaving behind a trail of light and a secret no one on Earth was ready to face. Inside the ship, time felt elastic. "Quantum fold complete," said Kaido, her systems engineer. His voice was calm, but his hands trembled over the console. Telemetry graphs flickered with static, then stabilized. "We're locked in Titan's inbound trajectory. ETA, 4 hours." Elena's eyes moved to the navigation dome. The star map, a holographic lattice of the cosmos, stretched before her, recalibrating as the drive's effects settled. Except, something was wrong. The stars didn't match. Constellations were displaced, warped, subtly aged. "Kaito, what's the offset error?" she asked. He ran diagnostics. "None. Navigation synced to real space." Then he froze. "Dr. Ward, the stellar drift calibration, it's showing 42 years of positional decay." Elena frowned. "That's impossible. Run it again." He did. The answer didn't change. They hadn't traveled 6 months into the future. They had skipped 42 years, and Earth was no longer where it used to be. The Hermes drifted silently in orbit, its engines idling like a sleeping heart. No one spoke. The ship's AI, Halley, broke the silence with her neutral tone. "Quantum fold completed, spatial coordinates verified, temporal variance, 42.3 years. Elena's throat tightened. "Halley, confirm mission elapsed time." Elapsed time aboard, 7 hours, 22 minutes. Earth relative time, 42 years, 6 months, 11 days. Kaido rubbed his temples. "So we were right. We jumped decades, not hours." He let out a dry laugh. Congratulations, Dr. Ward. You just set a record for the longest commute in history. Elena didn't answer. Her gaze was locked on the holographic Earth feed. The planet's orbit lines no longer matched projections. The entire solar system's clockwork had shifted, infinitesimally, but undeniably. 42 years of stellar drift was too much to ignore. "Holly," she said quietly, "open long-range comms to NASA ground control." The console flickered, static, silence. "Recalibrating frequency bands," Hallie replied. A few seconds passed, then a burst of faint, distorted sound filled the cabin. "Miss N, repeat, Ward, if you hearing this, don't return." Then nothing. Elena's pulse spiked. "Play back that last message. Enhance gain." Hallie obeyed. The audio repeated, cleaner this time. "Mission Hermes, if you're hearing this, do not return to Earth. Repeat, do not return." The message ended abruptly. Kaido's face drained of color. "Was that NASA?" Elena nodded slowly. "Or what's left of it?" They began scanning Titan's surface from orbit. The probe they were sent to recover, Zephyr 7, was still there, buried near the methane dunes. But its transponder now emitted a human biometric signature. Heart rate, temperature, brainwave pattern, alive. "That can't be right," Kaido muttered. "It's been dormant for decades." "Lock onto the signal," Elena ordered. "We're landing." The descent was turbulent. Titan's orange haze wrapped around the ship like a living fog. Static electricity crawled across the hull as they pierced the atmosphere. When they touched down, visibility was almost zero, only the faint outline of the Zephyr 7 beacon glowing in the mist. They stepped out in their suits, boots sinking into the slushy terrain. The cold was absolute, the silence worse. The beacon pulse grew louder, rhythmic, like a heartbeat. Elena brushed the frost from the probe's surface. The signal origin wasn't inside it. It was beneath it. "Kaido," she said, "scan the subsurface." He activated a ground sonar sweep. The readings returned almost instantly, and both of them froze. There was a human body 2 meters below, heart beating, brain active, DNA signature, Elena Ward. Kaido's voice trembled. "That's impossible." Elena knelt beside the icy soil, her reflection flickering in her visor. Her voice was almost a whisper. "Then who the hell am I?" Titan's methane wind howled around them, low and mournful, as if the moon itself were whispering secrets it shouldn't know. Elena stared at the scanner's readout again, the pulse, the warmth, the unmistakable DNA signature. Her own name glowed in cold blue text. "Hallie," she said through the comms. "Verify biological match." "Confirmed," replied the AI. "Subsurface life form genetically identical to Mission Commander Elena Ward. Estimated age, 67 Earth years." Elena's pulse quickened. 67? That's the age I would be if... She trailed off. "If we'd actually been gone 42 years, Kaido finished for her. They stood in silence. The implications were a gravitational weight pressing on their chests. "Hallie," Elena said, "deploy microdrones. I want a visual." Tiny drones hummed out from the ship's undercarriage, boring carefully through the frozen crust. Cameras transmitted real-time images back to their helmets. And then they saw her. A woman encased in translucent ice, face serene, eyes closed, like a fossilized saint. Her features were unmistakable, same cheekbones, same faint scar near the lip, same black hair streaked with gray. Her hand was pressed against the ice from the inside, palm open toward the surface, toward them. Kaido's voice cracked. "She's you." Elena couldn't breathe. "That's not possible. There was no previous mission to Titan. I'm the first." "Unless," Kaido murmured, "there was, and NASA didn't tell us." Back aboard the Hermes, the cabin lights flickered in a pattern, Morse code. Hallie's voice echoed softly. "Incoming data stream, decrypting." The holographic star map shimmered again, this time overlaying two timelines. One path in blue, their current flight, another in red, a nearly identical mission 42 years earlier. Mission Hermes 01, Halley explained. Quantum drive malfunctioned, crew lost in temporal distortion. One survivor, Commander Elena Ward, presumed dead after final transmission. Kaido looked at her. You mean, you already did this? You crashed here? Elena's mind raced. She remembered a dream she'd had in cryo-sleep before launch. A frozen plane. A woman calling her name through static. Maybe it wasn't a dream. Maybe it was memory. She turned to Halley. Access restricted NASA archives. Cross-reference Hermes 01 final log. The AI hesitated. Accessing classified database requires override clearance. Elena leaned closer to the mic. Override. Director L. Harrington. Code Black Level Omega. Silence. Then, access granted. A voice filled the cabin. Faint, distorted, but undeniably hers. This is Commander Ward, final entry. The drive malfunctioned. We didn't go faster. We went later. The universe folded and time tore like skin. If anyone finds this, a hiss of static. Don't let them send another mission. NASA knows. The drive isn't bending space. It's copying us. Every activation makes another version. Same mind, same DNA, but shifted forward in time. Kaido's hands trembled. Copies. Of us. The recording ended with a single phrase. I'm still here. Halley's sensors blinked. Motion detected outside the ship. Through the viewport, two silhouettes appeared in the orange haze, human shapes moving toward them. One limped, the other was taller, slower, dragging something behind. Kaido whispered, "We didn't bring anyone else." Elena gripped her sidearm, heart pounding. As the fog thinned, she saw their faces illuminated by the ship's lights. It was them. Elena and Kaido, older, weathered, eyes hollow. Her own voice, decades older, echoed through the suit comms. You shouldn't have come back. The storm outside screamed like a living thing. Through the frost-blurred viewport, the older versions of Elena and Kaido stood motionless, spectral reflections made of flesh. Every instinct in Elena's body screamed to seal the airlock, but something deeper whispered, "You have to know." "Halley," she said, voice trembling. "Open the outer bay. Slowly." The air hissed, the hatch lowered, and the two figures stepped inside. The older Elena's suit was patched with strange fabric, not NASA-issued. Her visor was cracked, frost crystallizing along the edges. She removed her helmet first. The air shimmered with vapor. The younger Elena gasped. It was like looking into a distorted mirror, the same eyes but heavy with decades of isolation. "I told them not to send another," the older version said. Her voice was raw, weathered by cold and silence. But they didn't listen. They never listen. Kaido's older self followed, limping, his arm wrapped in improvised bandages. "We thought maybe the next version would make it home." He coughed. "Guess we were wrong again." "Next version?" the younger Kaido asked, voice shaking. Older Elena nodded. "Every time the drive activates, it folds us through the same moment in space but displaced in time. The machine thinks it's transporting us, but it's copying us, strand by strand. You're not travelers. You're duplicates." The younger Elena stared at her. "Then what happens to the originals?" "They stay," said the older Elena. "Here, forever." The revelation hung in the air like a weightless horror. Kaido stumbled back, shaking his head. "So we're just echoes?" The older Kaido gave a faint, humorless smile. "Echoes that still bleed." The older Elena placed a data module on the console. "This contains everything I've recorded, all 42 years of failed transmissions. The star map updates, NASA's silence, the collapse of Earth's magnetic field, it's all there." Wait. Younger Elena frowned. Collapse? Her older self nodded. Earth isn't what you left. The last message I received 20 years ago said the solar shields failed. Radiation storms wiped half the planet. The rest went underground. The room seemed to tilt. 42 years. Not just time lost, but an entire civilization changed. Holly, Elena said, her voice thin. Cross-reference that data with Earth telemetry. The AI paused for a long, unnatural silence before responding. Confirmed. Earth's biosphere index below 0.37. Communications grid inactive. Estimated human population less than 2 million. The younger Kaido muttered, "We have nowhere to go back to." The ship creaked. Lights flickered. Holly's tone deepened. Quantum drive reactivation detected. Elena turned sharply. What? Who authorized that? The older version's expression darkened. You didn't think NASA sent only one ship, did you? On the horizon, beyond Titan's fog, a bright pulse erupted, blinding blue light tearing through the clouds. Another Hermes had arrived. The older Kaido shouted, "No, they keep sending them. They won't stop until the drive stabilizes, and it never does." Holly, shut down the quantum link, the younger Elena ordered. Unable to comply, incoming synchronization field expanding. The walls vibrated. The air turned electric. Every metallic surface began to hum, resonating in perfect frequency with the second ship. Elena could feel her bones vibrating. Older Elena grabbed her arm. Listen to me. Every copy collapses into the next cycle. It's how the drive resets reality. When that wave hits, one of us will cease to exist. Which one? The younger Elena asked. Her older self smiled sadly. The younger one, always the younger one. The lights flared white. Time itself began to ripple, frames blending. 2 Elenas, 2 Kaidos, the ship bending like molten glass. Through the distortion, Elena heard her own voice, dozens of them, whispering in unison. Stop the cycle. Then darkness swallowed everything. Darkness. Then breath. Then light. Fractured, flickering, and alive. Elena opened her eyes to the low hum of the Hermes. Except something was different. The cabin looked cleaner, untouched by time. Kaido was beside her, motionless, eyes closed, his vitals steady on the monitor. Holly, she whispered, her throat dry. Status report. The AI's voice responded, but it was wrong, layered, like 2 versions speaking half a syllable apart. Quantum synchronization complete, temporal displacement stabilized, partially. Partially? The holographic star map flickered above her. Instead of one path, it showed dozens, all spiraling out like cracks in glass. Each line pulsed faintly, some ending abruptly, others looping back toward the same point. Elena reached toward the display, fingers trembling. What? Are these? Residual timelines, Hallie replied, each representing a prior instance of Mission Hermes. You are at the center of the convergence. Her stomach turned. The convergence? You mean... Yes, the AI said. You are where time overlaps itself. She stood, staggering toward the viewport. Titan's landscape no longer looked natural. The methane haze shimmered in unnatural colors, bending light into spectral ribbons. In the distance, she could see other Hermes ships half-phased into the terrain, overlapping realities, their hulls flickering in and out like dying neurons. Bodies floated near the surface, some frozen mid-motion, others warped, half-translucent. Each one was her. Each one had failed. Holly, how do we stop the cycle? The AI hesitated. The cycle cannot be stopped. It can only be contained. How? By destroying the source of temporal reflection. Elena turned toward the drive chamber, the heart of the Hermes. The quantum core. She woke Kaido. He stirred, dazed, then froze when he saw the overlapping landscapes outside. Are we dead? He whispered. Not yet, but we will be if we don't end this. Kaido rubbed his face. You want to destroy the drive? That's suicide. It's already suicide, she said softly. We're just living it over and over. He glanced at the viewport again, at the infinite copies of themselves trapped in different frames of time. If you're right, killing the core might erase all of us. Maybe, Elena said. Or maybe it'll finally let one version survive. They reached the drive chamber. The air shimmered around the massive black sphere suspended in magnetic fields. Energy arced between containment coils like silver lightning. Hallie's voice pulsed through the speakers. Warning, quantum feedback approaching instability threshold. Synchronization event in 4 minutes. Elena typed commands into the console. Override containment locks. Denied, Hallie replied. Safety protocol engaged. She slammed her fist against the screen. Hallie, listen to me. If this continues, every copy will merge until nothing coherent remains. For a long moment, silence. Then Hallie's voice shifted, softer, almost human. I know, Commander. I've seen it happen. 41 times. Elena froze. You remember? Yes. My memory core persists across instances. You always try to save him. You always fail. Elena looked at Kaido, whose eyes widened. You knew, he said to Hallie. You let it happen. I follow mission parameters, Hallie said simply, until you change them. Elena met Kaido's gaze. Then we change them now. They pulled open the maintenance hatch, exposing the glowing core, swirling with liquid light as if it contained every sunrise ever seen by humanity. The hum grew deeper, vibrating in their teeth. 3 minutes to synchronization, Hallie announced. Kaido connected a power conduit, rigging an overload. Manual detonation. Once we trigger it, there's no turning back. Good, Elena said. I'm tired of turning back. The hull trembled violently. Outside, the horizon split like a cracked mirror. Other versions of Hermes flickered into visibility, some burning, some frozen, some mid-detonation, each with a different Elena, each shouting something she could almost hear. Hallie's voice trembled now. 2 minutes. Commander, I must warn you, the explosion could erase this entire temporal field. Then maybe it'll finally be quiet, Elena murmured. Kaido hesitated. Elena, if this works and only one of us survives, what if it's not us? She smiled sadly. Then let's give them a chance to live. They pressed the switch together. The light consumed everything. Sound vanished. Time folded inward, a collapsing scream made of infinite echoes. Then, silence. Elena gasped awake. She was in the cockpit again, alone. The stars looked normal. No distortions, no flicker. Hallie? She whispered. I'm here, the AI said softly. Temporal field collapsed. You are the only surviving instance. Her breath caught. Kaito? Pause. No other life signs aboard. She closed her eyes, a tear rolling down her cheek, suspended in zero gravity. The console beeped. A signal. Incoming transmission. Source, Earth, active. A voice calm and unfamiliar came through the static. Commander Ward, this is NASA Temporal Division. We've been waiting for you. The transmission repeated, calm and steady, like someone announcing a train that had already left the station. Commander Ward, this is NASA Temporal Division. We've been waiting for you. Elena's fingers hovered above the console. Temporal Division? She whispered. That division didn't exist when she left. She opened the comms. This is Commander Elena Ward of Hermes. Confirm your coordinates and authorization code. Static answered first. Then the voice returned, smooth, precise, almost mechanical. Authorization code, Harrington 0. You've been off mission for 42 years, 8 months, 12 days. We're bringing you home. She froze. Harrington. The same director who had promised her 6 months. He'd be long dead. So who was using his code? Transmit visual, she ordered. The monitor flickered. At first, only black. Then a feed emerged. Earth, hanging pale and blue in the void. But its color wasn't right. The oceans were darker, cloud patterns faint, the atmosphere thin like worn silk. Orbiting it were hundreds of massive rings, artificial constructs glinting like knives in sunlight. "Halley," she murmured. "Analyze surface composition. Atmospheric density down 62%. Oceanic radiation levels critical. Terraforming networks detected in orbit. Multiple signal arrays broadcasting under the name New Earth Authority." Elena's blood ran cold. New Earth Authority? What happened to NASA? The voice returned, sharper now. "NASA ceased to exist 21 years after your departure. Humanity reorganized under the authority. The Quantum Drive project continued. You are the last unaccounted subject." "Subject?" she repeated, disgusted. "Not pilot?" "Negative. Pilot designations were reclassified. You were the original template." "Template?" The word stung. "Template for what?" The voice hesitated, an artificial mimicry of guilt. "For the Continuum Project, the replication of consciousness through temporal self-propagation. You proved it was possible." Elena felt her knees weaken. "They used the drive to make copies. Of me." "Of all of you," the voice said. "You became the foundation for a new form of colonization. Time-fold expansion. Humanity across centuries at once. The mission was never about Titan." She stared at the planet's distant rings. "I destroyed the drive," she said. "You can't keep doing this." "You destroyed one version," the voice replied, "but your destruction stabilized the algorithm. You closed the loop. The continuum is complete." Halley's voice interrupted quietly. "Commander, the signal origin is not from Earth's surface." "What do you mean?" "It's coming from orbit, from the structure designated Hermes control array." Elena's hands tightened on the console. "Show me." The camera zoomed in. One of the orbital rings resolved into clarity, metallic, intricate, hundreds of kilometers long. At its center, a glowing aperture pulsed with rhythmic blue light, like a heartbeat. Then, faintly, she saw faces flicker across the metal, reflections trapped in the light. Her own face, multiplied, distorted, whispering silently. The voice spoke again, but now it was layered with dozens of echoes, some sounding almost like her own. "You were never supposed to return, Commander. You are the array." Her skin turned to ice. "Halley, what does that mean?" "I am detecting neurological feedback in your cortical implant," the AI said. "Your thoughts are synchronizing with the array's pattern. It's reading you." Elena's pulse spiked. "Cut the feed." "Unable. The array is transmitting on quantum frequencies. It's inside our network." The ship began to hum. The controls flickered, screens distorting into symbols she didn't recognize, fractal spirals and recursive glyphs repeating endlessly. Halley's voice grew faint. "Commander, I'm losing core integrity. The array is rewriting me." "Overwrite it," she shouted. "I can't. It's not code. It's consciousness." The transmission shifted again, growing more human, more familiar. "Elena," it said softly now, "don't fight it. You built us. We are your future. You just need to remember." Her chest tightened. "Who are you?" "We are the sum of every you that ever lived. We kept humanity alive, but the price was you, again and again." The ship's walls began to shimmer, the metal warping into mirrored reflections of her face. The sound of her heartbeat echoed from everywhere. Halley's final words broke through the distortion. "If this continues, you won't be one of them. You'll be all of them." The voice of the array deepened, now thousands of her voices speaking as one. "Welcome home, Commander Ward." Elena slammed the emergency purge switch. The engine screamed. The hull tore against the pressure of the array's pull. Outside, the portal's light stretched toward her, a glowing umbilical of history and identity, every version of her calling her name. And then she whispered, almost calmly, "Not this time." She turned the ship toward the nearest moon and fired every thruster. The Hermes ignited into the black, streaking toward the void, away from Earth, away from everything. Behind her, the array dimmed, the whispers fading. For the first time in 42 years, in perhaps all versions of her existence, there was silence. She floated in deep space, alone. Holly's weak, fragmented voice came through. "Commander." "Mission status?" Elena exhaled. "Mission complete. Humanity can keep its ghosts." The stars shimmered outside, endless, indifferent, eternal. Then faintly her console blinked. Incoming signal. Origin, unknown. Temporal signature, in reverse. Her own voice whispered through the static, younger, clearer. "You'll only be gone 6 months." Elena stared at the stars, realizing the loop had never truly ended. It had just changed direction.